What's up, everybody? Ryan Thomas here, live on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Once again, bringing you another edition of the Thomas Take. And as I was in the process of going live tonight for this special edition Sunday episode, thought I'd bring you an interesting look at a behind-the-scenes, if you will, of the MyFantasySportsTalk.com Fantasy Baseball Draft. Now, much to the editor-in-chief, Dan Schalk's chagrin, I will be playing in this fantasy league. I am in this fantasy league. Dan, Brandon, Dylan, all the MFST guys won't know what hit them. Picking 8th overall. I got a good chance at getting some players that I probably would have reached for had I been picking a little bit sooner than that, depending on how that draft board would have flowed. But nonetheless, I will be going pick by pick, round by round, for the first 45 minutes of tonight's show, letting you all know that, we're about 4 minutes and 47 seconds away from this draft starting. And with the first overall selection, it is the South Bend Sultans. So whoever owns that team might as well hand in his draft card, might as well hand in the pick to the commissioner, Dan Schalk, as being Mike Trout. Mike Trout, the consensus number one player in fantasy baseball, the consensus number one player in real baseball. It's very weird when you have that circumstance where the consensus number one player in real life is the consensus fantasy player. But Mike Trout is just that good. The guy's accomplished pretty much everything that you could accomplish outside of winning a World Series, outside of winning an MVP in the same season, which is what my boy Mookie Betts did last year with the Boston Red Sox 2018 World Series champ Mookie Betts. For my money, just as many reasons for Betts to be the first overall pick as Mike Trout. Plays in a better lineup, plays on a better team, and has more opportunity to drive in runs and RBIs, whereas Mike Trout might get you over 30 home runs, maybe even over 40 home runs, but the RBIs are not really there. And last year, he was very low on the RBI scale, whereas Mookie Betts had a hell of a year. As I look at the draft board and how it lays out, Mike Trout first, Mookie Betts second, Jose Ramirez at third for the Cleveland Indians, a fantastic player. JD Martinez ranked fourth. You have two players that represent the Boston Red Sox selected on the ESPN rankings as two of the top four players. That just goes to show you how dominant that Red Sox lineup was last season, how much of an offensive juggernaut they truly are. Maybe I'll be able to get one of those guys, but not only do you have Betts and JD Martinez ranked in the top four, you have Chris Sale ranked 9th overall. So you have three Boston Red Sox players ranked in the top 10 between Betts, JD, and Chris Sale. And that is a draft board that is very likely across all platforms, whether it's ESPN, whether it's Yahoo, whether it's CBS Sports. Those three players were juggernauts last year in the majors. As we look at the chat, we also have Orlando Torres in the league. Orlando, good buddy of mine, fellow MMA writer like myself. Orlando's pumped up. He says it's going to be a fun season, and it's going to be a very interesting season to say the least. But we're 2 minutes away from the first overall pick in the My Fantasy Sports Talk draft, and I'm very excited for this. I hope the picks flow really well. This is my first time in the MFST Fantasy Baseball League, and it is my first time playing in a points-based fantasy baseball league. Much like football, your players get points per week. This will be very interesting. This will be fun. You know, this actually is my second year playing in a Dan Schalk commissioned fantasy baseball league. The first one was a dynasty league, which I started off very, very poorly, 0-5. Finished the season 12-11, made the playoffs, won the first round, made it to the semis, and lost in the semis. So it was a pretty interesting year, but we will see what transpires. Oftentimes, I implement a strategy of not going pitcher heavy first, not going down to having, pitchers be my my type. That's just not how I do it. So this is a 14-team league, head-to-head points. And you got some bench spots. You got singles is a point, doubles is 2, triples is 3, home runs is 4, walks, RBIs. I'm wondering what would be the minus on strikeouts, or if there is a minus on strikeouts. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are live. First overall pick, South Bend Sultans. Let's see who he selects with this first overall pick. My money would be that it will be Mike Trout, first overall. Here the Thomas Take selects 8th overall, known as Ryan's Red Sox, because that's my squad. I've always had good luck with that team name, so we'll see how this pans out. But South Bend Sultans is making us sweat a little bit, as this pick has taken a little bit longer than what I thought it would. And really, with Mike Trout, the write-up on him from ESPN is fascinating. Sit back and enjoy. This is what a Hall of Fame career looks like in its prime. Through his age 26 season, Trout had more wins above replacement than any player in the history of baseball. And I could not agree more that he is a future Hall of Famer. Perhaps his trophy shelf isn't as stacked as you'd expect, boasting only the Rookie of the Year and 2 MVP awards. He's had multiple trips to the DL, but realistically, this dude is as legit as they come. Will South Bend Sultans let this clock run down to the wire? I believe he is going to. I believe we will have to wait and see who he picks as the clock expires. It expires now, and Mike Trout picked, I don't know if that'll be on auto pick, but Team Kobe Gatz is second. He selects Mookie Betts. Orlando Torres, the 3rd overall pick. Who will he select? Who will Orlando Torres select? The top 3 players available: Jose Ramirez, JD Martinez, Max Scherzer. He goes Jose. So the first 3 picks have flowed as if prestige worldwide. He picks Nolan Arenado, who was ranked 6th, choosing Arenado over JD, over Scherzer, according to the rankings at the very least. And Moneyball still does ... I don't know what that means, but we're going to go out on a limb and assume that this guy, he picks Max Scherzer. So he goes Scherzer over JD. Team Fox in line. 2 picks away from myself. This is tough. Very tough. Because I'm not sure if I could go Team Fox goes JD Martinez, leaving me wondering who I should take. This is very tough because I could easily go with who I believe is the best pitcher of his generation, and that would be Chris Sale, the best pitcher in this game right now. Could go with that, and it would give me a guy to lean on, but Sale had so many injuries and such. Picking 8th, though, that means I would wait a long time to pick again, and I don't know if I'm going to go that route. It's very tough. Turner looks like he's going to go to St. Louis Merman. Second base is a really weak position. So I might go